Okay, so I want to make a quick little video. I just made a dig pull, and I took a Datalog, and I'm just going over everything, and I would like to show you guys what I'm looking at and just how the truck's running. So here's the clip of the pull. And that's no brakes, that's off the button and just holding the throttle to the floor, no brakes at all. But I'm gonna go over this Datalog and show you guys just kind of how the truck's running and what the tune looks like in it. Okay, so we're gonna start this off. This tune is named 2025 NA tune. And you can see here, we're idling, and we get on the trans brake, and the trans brake is set to around 74. The trans brake is set to around 3750, and that's right where it was at. This purple line is my voltage. We'll go over the voltage first because I've used to have a lot of issues with voltage. If you guys remember, 14 volts on the trans brake. It drops down to right there, the purple, 13.8. And then it goes up to 7,100 RPM. As you can see, well, I don't have the, there we go. 7,100 RPM, and we're still holding 13.9 volts. I'm happy with that. It holds 13.9 all the way across, and eventually comes back up to 14.1 once I am off the throttle. And yeah, so that looks good. Ignition timing, we're gonna look at that. Here on the brake, 25.1 degrees. When I let off the brake, it dips to 24.2 and comes up to 26 degrees, which is that's where the tune is set to. It doesn't go any higher than 26 degrees, which is pretty safe. And it just holds there all the way until I let off the throttle. And then it goes back to the idle table. Okay. Let's look at the target and the AFR. All right, so it's going to be kind of hard to see, but you might be able to. The blue line is my target. Let's go to where let's go to second gear, where it was pulling the hardest. So target was 12.8, and as you can see, the target, we're right here, ignore the little mouse. 12.8 is the target, and the actual AFR was 12.8. So I think it's 12.8 all the way across through here. And yeah, that's so 13.1. It was targeting 12.8, little spike. But that looks good. Now let's check out the map. To be honest, I don't know what I'm looking at, but I'm learning. Here we are at an idle. It was at 68 kPa. We go to the floor and it goes to 100, which is good. And then I'm on the brake. It's still at 100. I let off the brake and it kind of dips around 98, 99, 97, but it stays in that general area for the entire pull. So that looks good. Duty cycle. These are 50-pound injectors. We'll do the duty cycle and the fuel flow at the same time. And the fuel pressure. I finally have a fuel pressure sensor, so we're going to bring that up as well. I have the base pressure set to 59, and here we are at 59 PSI at an idle. We get up on the trans brake, it comes to 58, and then when I let off the brake, it comes down to 52, and then you can see the fuel flow and duty cycle kind of spike to compensate for it. I don't know why it does that. If somebody knows, let me know. And then it holds 58 and 57 for the entire pull, which means we got good fuel system. Middle of second gear, where it's pulling the hardest, 57 pounds of fuel pressure, 57.2% duty cycle at 6,600 RPM, and it's flowing 227 pounds per hour. So, like I've said before, it's not overly powerful. it just runs good. It's lightweight. Manifold air temp, no hood. We started to pull off at 118 degrees, and you can see it drops. Goes from 118 all the way down to 91. So that's not too shabby. I'm looking at my oil pressure, which is this purple line. Right here, we are on the trans brake, and it is sitting at 66 pounds of oil pressure. At idle, it's at 40 pounds. And then when I let off the trans brake, it comes up to a whopping 94 pounds of oil pressure. That is, that's a healthy engine. Let's look at coolant temp, because a lot of people don't realize that you can run these S10 4.3 S10 radiators, and I'm just here to show you that you can. We have a large cam 6 liter, idles at 183 degrees, around that. The truck had already been running for quite a while. I drove to my little spot and made my little pull. On the trans brake, it's sitting at 184. Let off, and here we are screaming at 7,100, and we're still sitting at 184. And eventually it comes up, I think, maybe. It maintains 184. Yeah, 185 degrees right there after we let off. So, yeah, and then if you're curious about driving, well, here's driving back to the house. Let's go right here. All right, here, just cruising. It's at 179 degrees, and it stays there all the way home. 179, 181. I have my fans set to come on at 185. So that pretty much covers everything. I'm still learning this tuning stuff. I would like to be able to tune my truck NA. I think it's a good platform to do it on. It's not overly powerful, and I don't have to worry about grenading it because we're not pushing it that hard. So I think it's a good candidate to learn on, and eventually we'll supercharge it when the time is right and the money's right. We'll supercharge it and learn how to do that on my own with some help. I'm not going to do it all by myself. We'll probably never know an exact horsepower number, just because I'm probably never going to put it on a dyno. I'm just going to go by track numbers. My goal, all motor, is 120 miles per hour in the quarter. And I think that's possible. It's been 118, but I think 120 is possible. And I'd like to see a little closer to 98, 97, 98 in the 8th, all motor. And then, you know, once we put a blower on it, I'd like to see closer to 135, 137, maybe 140. Just depends on what blower we go with. For now, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see it.